first days and first steps, the new beginnings and here we go agains. Where these moments are made, there is where you'll find us. Because it's never been about what we're here to help protect you from. It's always been about what we're here to help protect you for.
I've got more to say than ever.
Monday on ET, our new interview with Will Smith. Plus, I'm kicking it with the stars at Disney's D23.
This is a massive event.
Very intense.
Think Comic-Con, all the big movies, but for Disney lovers. Well, Sabrina Carpenter has given the music industry a shot of espresso, and she was one of the many stars honored last night in Hollywood. Our Denny Directo was there. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, Sabrina was serving face and sunshine in this yellow.
Happening now.
It's been more than 3 years since the body of baby James Chaidez was found. His own mother's been charged in that case, but it's one that's yet to go to trial. We walk you through the timeline that gets us to where we are today. A date for debate has been set between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, but there's a battle over crowds at campaign rallies. Next.
Actually, a little hope for rain later this evening. I'll talk about that, along with an area we're watching in the tropics, and of course, more triple digits. News at 5 starts right now.
First at 5, new video. The man arrested after his father's body found decomposing inside a refrigerator with the doors strapped shut. The Bexar County Sheriff shared this video with us of 48-year-old David Gibson being walked out in handcuffs. We first told you about the story yesterday as breaking news at 6.
Sheriff Javier Salazar said deputies were doing a welfare check yesterday on a man in his 70s. When a deputy arrived at the house, he spoke to someone through a doorbell camera, but the man's family later confirmed that wasn't the man's voice. The deputy and the family went back to the house. They opened the door and searched the property, and that's when they discovered the body of the man they wanted to check on.
Also inside the home was Gibson, the victim's son. As we showed you, he was taken into custody last night, but whether or not this was considered a homicide is still in question. The man's cause of death still unknown at this time. As for Gibson, right now he's being charged with tampering with or fabricating physical evidence with intent to impair a human corpse. 3 years after a baby's death and a mother's arrest, that case has still not gone to trial.
And we have been covering this case since 2021. 18-month-old James Chaidez was found dead, and his mother, Delaney Chaidez, was later arrested.
Our Erica Hernandez takes us back to the beginning and gives us a look at what's happened in this case and where it stands right now.
It's still hard, there's not a day that I don't think about him.
Marisol Benavides still grieves her great-nephew, James Chaidez.
Now, back on January 4th, 2021, Delaney Chaidez and her son, 18-month-old James, were last seen at a drugstore off Marbach Road near Military Drive. Then on February 22nd, Marisol Benavides reported her niece Delaney and her great-nephew James missing. On March 8th, 2021, police released surveillance images of the pair, as well as surveillance video clips from a drugstore and from onboard a Via bus. In the store video, Chaidez is shown pushing a stroller. However, in the bus video, there was no signs of baby James. But then 8 days later, Chaidez was booked into jail on a charge of abandoning or endangering a child. Baby James's whereabouts were unknown. Chaidez refused to answer questions from investigators, but told them she did not feel prepared to be a mother and consider giving the baby up for adoption. Investigators say they searched her trailer and found a bedsheet from a crib with what proved to be human blood on it. And then on April 13, 2021, a judge reduces Chaidez's bond from $250,000 to $150,000, but she's still unable to get out of jail. Then 7 days later, she was indicted on 2 charges of tampering with evidence, not abandoning or endangering a child like she was first arrested on. Another week goes by, and that's when human remains were found at the Westside Mobile Home Park where baby James lived with his mother. They were later identified to be baby James. And then on May 22nd, 2021, family held a memorial service for baby James. And almost a year later, Chavez takes a plea deal on one count of tampering with evidence. The other count is dismissed. But then in August 2022, she was sentenced to 5 years in prison on the tampering charge. However, just before she was sentenced, Bexar County District Attorney Joe Gonzalez announced that a grand jury had indicted her on a new charge. She's now charged with injury to a child intentionally or knowingly causing serious bodily injury. Chavez could get up to life in prison if she's convicted on that charge. But since then, no progress has really been made on the case, and there is still no trial date. Tonight at 6, I'll share what Marisol Benavides has been told about the case from the district attorney's office and her frustrations in finding justice for baby James. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
Have you seen this girl? She's 16 years old. Her name is Jewel Hatton Smith. She was last seen yesterday afternoon, and the Bexar County Sheriff's Office is hoping that you can help them find her. Jewel's parents last saw her through their security camera as she was getting into a silver sedan that picked her up at her house. They say she does not have a cell phone. At that time, she was wearing white long-sleeve shirt or a hoodie, blue jeans. She had a dark-colored backpack and a dark-colored gym bag with her. The sheriff's office is not certain if a rideshare company perhaps picked her up or if it was someone else, but they're asking anyone with any information about her whereabouts to call them at 210-335-6000, that number you see there. It is a Class A misdemeanor to harbor a runaway and is punishable by up to a year in jail and a $5,000 fine.
A new poll shows an overwhelming majority of Texans say the state has a housing affordability crisis.
That poll was done through the University of Houston and Texas Southern University.
90% of Texans said that housing affordability is a problem where they live. More than half of Texans polled said they face some amount of financial strain resulting from housing costs. That agreement held up regardless of education or income level, race, gender, where poll residents live, and whether or not they own or rent a home.
One researcher said, quote, to have 9 out of 10 Texans agree on anything is really tough. I think what this says is that at the very highest level, housing affordability is an issue that transcends partisan politics, end quote. About 54% of Texans polled said they would favor government policies that boost the amount of affordable or rental housing for lower and middle income Texans. 26% say they oppose that. Another 20% were undecided. The poll's findings are the latest to point to the pressure that Texans are facing because of the state's high housing costs.
To politics now, and former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris have now agreed to a debate. They are set to take the stage together September 10th right here on ABC. But until then, the two will compete for attention on the campaign trail.
Harris is stopping in the battleground state of Arizona today. Trump is in Montana, where there is a key Senate race. CNN correspondent Julia Benbrook joins us live with the very latest. Both candidates hoping to continue drawing crowds. Julia.
That's right. And Trump says that he prefers Harris as his opponent and that his strategy remains unchanged, even though there's someone new at the top of the ticket. But there are some things that are clearly changing, and that includes the big crowds that are coming out to see Harris speak as she goes on this battleground state tour.
Since she became the Democratic presidential nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris has held several high-energy rallies, proving that Donald Trump is not the only candidate who can draw a crowd. Her campaign estimates her biggest rally so far had about 15,000 attendees, a detail that seems to be getting under the former president's skin.
Are you worried at all about the size of Harris's crowds?
Oh, give me a break.
Trump has long been known for drawing large crowds himself, but also for hyper-fixating on how many people attend his events and exaggerating those numbers.
In history, for any country, nobody's had crowds like I have.
With Harris experiencing momentum, Trump tried to take back the narrative with an hour-long, sometimes meandering news conference on Thursday. He proved he's ready to go on the attack, criticizing her intelligence and pushing her to take more questions from reporters.
She hasn't done an interview She can't do an interview. She's barely competent, and she can't do an interview.
Harris, who has not done a sit-down interview since President Joe Biden withdrew from the race, says she's working to get one on the calendar.
I've talked to my team. I want us to get an interview scheduled before the end of the month.
And after lots of back and forth, the presidential debate hosted by ABC is now on the schedule. The two candidates agreed to meet September 10th.
While Harris has been on this battleground state tour this week, Trump has been mostly absent from the campaign trail. When pushed about that decision, he said that he doesn't need to be out there right now because he's, quote, leading by a lot. But the most recent CNN poll of polls, an average of recent polling, shows that there is a tight race with no clear leader. Reporting at the White House, Julia Benbrook, KSAT 12 News.
Julia, thank you.
All right, let's check out traffic right now. I want to show you a particular trouble spot right now. It's the northbound lanes of 281 at Bassey. You see right here, it looks as if there's an accident right in the middle of traffic there. Again, this is the northbound lanes at Bassey. You can see there's a police cruiser that's trying to get people to go around this particular area. Just happened moments ago. Again, 281 at Bassey. Let's take another angle of this, and you can see part of the backup. Really in both directions. I mean, both the south and northbound lanes are very slow going. I wonder if the southbound lanes aren't slow just because they're trying to figure out what's going on in the northbound lanes. All right, here's a bit of good news. It looks like both of the vehicles have now been moved to the side, so traffic is at least moving right now. Again, it looks like some type of accident, 281 in Bassey. It's in the northbound lanes, both sides, though, north and southbound. Very slow going at this hour. Adam.
Another warm day, but not as hot as what we had yesterday. Our high temperature today, 99 so far today, at least our high temperature. We'll get the update coming up at 6 o'clock for what the actual high temperature was. And of course, I'm having clicker problems and not getting the computer to move to
Have
where
you tried
it
turning
should
it
be.
off and turning it back on?
There you go. That's always it. Unplug, plug back in. Or like the old school tube TVs, you just kind of smack it.
Yeah, you want me to do that?
Yeah,
I'm going to go over there and smack it one?
Okay, we're going to get to it. We also have a glimmer of hope for some rain coming in the next several hours. So we'll get to that in a little bit too, Myra.
All right, thanks, Adam. If you still need to get some supplies or some clothes for the new school year, this weekend's a good time to go. It is tax-free weekend. Right now on KSAT.com, we have everything you need to know about this tax holiday. Just scan the QR code on your screen to see which items actually qualify for that exemption, or look for this story in the Back to School section of our website.
And they're off. The boys from Bernie left early this morning for Pennsylvania to get ready for the Little League World Series. Still ahead on the news at 5. How they're feeling about the big games ahead. Coming up in sports.
Oh, they have to be so excited. Plus, teachers putting the finishing touches on their classrooms. Coming up, our Courtney Friedman shares how one teacher is helping students cope with stress at school. And it's a trend being used in other classrooms as well.
All right, we know it's common for teachers to fundraise for all those classroom school supplies, but one local teacher has raised money for something very unique, making her classroom a mental health oasis.
I've been looking forward to seeing this. Courtney Friedman got to visit this classroom as she began setting it up, and she showed her some things that could help with stress, ADHD, or autism.
We got to be there on the day Annette Graham started bringing her classroom to life at Zachary Middle School.
Setting up a classroom is kind of like Christmas for teachers because it's the excitement we get to create.
And what she strives to create is a mental health sanctuary. As a teacher in the magnet school within Zachary Middle School, she teaches social emotional learning.
Something I'd witnessed with my students that they had high anxiety, especially in middle school. They deal with a lot of changes.
But creating a calming space required some help. Graham used fundraising site Donors Choose, which helps teachers pay for supplies and projects. The goal was met within a month, paying for some things you'd never think to find in a classroom.
We talk about stress management, and I will take out my whatever slime I have, different textures, and they're like, oh, can I have some of that? Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, okay, it smells like Starburst almost.
It does. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
It really triggers a sense of calm.
As somebody who struggles with ADHD, having that sensory issue, something that will engage that part of the brain without distracting others is very valuable. Calm strips was developed by an individual who needed that sensory engagement. For him, it doesn't distract or anything, so while they're working, they can just go over there and just touch it.
These stress management items aren't grams. The fundraising effort is so the kids can keep everything. The part that happens strictly in the classroom is the lighting.
Fluorescent lights can be overstimulating to a lot of students. Just lowering the lights helps reduce some of that anxiety. It helps give a little bit of a sense of security.
Students who aren't even in her class will stop by to wind down or decompress.
When they walk in, they immediately feel it.
The concept's so special, it pulled in those donations from people all over the country, and she hopes other teachers will get the same support.
What I hope is that people will see the value in what we're doing here.
That was Courtney Freeman reporting. I want some of those things for the newsroom.
Very cool.
Have
I
at
know.
your desk, you know?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Graham always suggests if parents or community members are able to give, they should ask to see a teacher's Amazon wish list or what's called their Donor Choose project.
Yeah, and as you just saw, something priceless can come from even the smallest donations.
Yeah. I've had a couple of my son's teachers that put the lights down or make them a little more of a blue color. They're not that harsh fluorescent. It's nice, even just as an adult walking in there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Adam, you want to chime in on
I do, actually. That is why in my home I use the 2700K lights. That's the temperature of light I like to use at home, 2700K. It's not that harsh, bright light, except for in the garage and in some closets.
Okay.
We see this as important information, but Steve and I cannot help but laugh.
Okay. Soft white to the layperson.
I know.
There you go. Thank you. What am I looking for?
No, I'm envisioning Adam Caskey at home with his light meter.
Yep.
Oh, it's $26.99. I need a little bit more.
Need a new one. Well, because the problem with LED lights I've noticed compared to the old incandescents is they start to dim when they're dying, when they're losing, they flicker a little bit, and that kind of, I noticed that thing. I'm going to look into those calm strips. Those are pretty cool. I'm going to look into those.
Yeah. How about our weather?
Oh, yeah. Let's get right to it. I can be distracted pretty easily, but I can get on task just as easily as well. Okay, speaking of weather, we have a few showers north of us near I-35, closer to Austin, really, and near Buda. This is all just an indicator of what's potential, what is possible here as we go through the rest of this evening and even into tonight, all the way through about 1 a.m. We're only talking a 20% chance, especially from 8 p.m. to midnight, but still that's better than nothing. There's still that glimmer of hope for a few showers. Most of the action has been off to the north of us, and even then it hasn't been all that significant. It's really starting to come together closer to Waco and Killeen. And there are some indications, depending on especially where outflow boundaries end up from these downpours. Some of that action could make its way toward us and even see some new development around us in the coming hours, especially, I think, after dark, after sunset, and then that action, if it really does flare up, fizzling out after midnight, and then tomorrow just a 10% chance. Afternoon high temperatures, still feeling the heat. 99 was our high today, so far at least. We think we'll be there again tomorrow. Basically right near 100, give or take a degree or two. And you look at the long-range temperature outlook all the way through August 19th. Odds favor above average temperatures, not just for us, but really all of Texas. However, West Coast and East Coast, outside of that heat high, they actually have good chances of below average temperatures. Wouldn't that be nice? Actually, it was nice. We had that in late July when we had our rain. We had below average temps. Today, 99, that was our high. The record being 106, set back in 1953. The average now is 97. And climatologically speaking, that is the hottest average high temperature all year long here in San Antonio. Eagle Pass 99, Floresville 101, Kerrville 98 in Daniel's backyard, Panna Maria at 99, even Lavernia triple digits, and Mico right now at an even 100. Tomorrow, we start the day at 78 degrees, 93 at noon, and then by 5 p.m. 99. And I do want to point out a 10% chance, a slight chance of a rogue afternoon or early evening shower tomorrow. So right near 100. Now, the past couple of days, Del Rio has made it to 109 past couple of days. That's not going to be the case again tomorrow. 103 for the high, so little improvements. Even Carrizo Springs at 104. Generally upper 90s, you get into the hill country and eastward all the way toward the Gulf Coast. Quick look at the tropics. Not much out there, just one cluster of storms we're watching way out there in the Atlantic that's heading westward over the next 5 to 7 days. Hurricane Center now has a 60% chance of development there with that. Sunday, right near 100, mostly sunny sky. We don't have any rain chances on Sunday. And then we get into next week. Tuesday, we actually throw back in a 10% chance. I know that's not much, but there really isn't much else to focus on here. There's a nice little piece of energy that's going to round the ridge, and if we're lucky, could kickstart a few showers Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll be looking for some luck with those temperatures.
Yeah.
Thanks, Adam.
All right, do you think Cowboy fans are more worried about CeeDee Lamb signing than the Cowboys are right now?
Probably, yeah. I think that's definitely the temperature. It's more of a discussion amongst the fans. We're talking about the latest headlines to come out of Cowboys training camp involving Dak and CeeDee Lamb. Plus, the new Braunfels junior baseball team is featured in a win or go home game in the World Series. That and more right after the break. Dak Prescott did not attend today's training camp practice for precautionary reasons as the Cowboys quarterback is dealing with ankle soreness after yesterday's practice with the Rams. The bigger storyline, though, right now surrounding the Dallas franchise is a comment made by owner Jerry Jones. Jones says he doesn't have any urgency to work out a deal with star wideout CeeDee Lamb in time for Lamb to join the team at camp. Lamb seemingly took exception to that answer, but head coach Mike McCarthy put ease to the situation today, saying Lamb won't need much time to mix back in once his business is handled.
We miss CD. We love CD. He'll be great once he gets here. But he's in the middle of a business situation. I think you clearly have to separate that. And I think when you involve business, things go on. It's like Fight Club. What happens at Fight Club stays at Fight Club. So whatever happens in his business is business. But yeah, we have all the confidence in just the way he works that he's going to come in here ready to go. And when that time comes, we'll pick up like he never left.
Today's practice was a wind down from yesterday. There's the Lion getting a carry. Now coming up at 6, the details on Dallas's cornerback trade with Minnesota.
It'll be the champs out of the Southwest region from Texas and New Braunfels Little League.
We always had a dream, but to actually fulfill it was pretty cool.
To finally see it all come into play now, I think has been something really good to watch. It's been a blast just having the experience and everything.
The New Braunfels Junior League baseball team is on a historic run, the first team in its 72-year history to play in the World Series. And tonight, the pressure is at an all-time high in a win or go-home game. New Braunfels will face Florida at 7 o'clock for a chance to play in the Junior League Baseball U.S. Final. We'll tell you how New Braunfels performed tonight on the Night Beat.
I'm pumped up. Finally, I'm waked up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, I'm pumped.
How hard have you been working?
Yeah, do you want to say anything? I've been working hard.
Earlier this week, the Bernie Little Leaguers punched their ticket to compete on the national stage in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. The team reported to the airport at 5 a.m. this morning. Can't imagine how much sleep they actually got as they begin their quest for a banner, but they don't play until Thursday, so they have time to shake off the nerves.
Yeah, got to get there, get acclimated, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Mary.
A lot of baseball talent around here.
Yes.
Thanks so much for watching the news at 5.
World News up next. See you back here at 6.